evening, folks. Welcome to another evening with Dan Leslie on Cooking with Dan Leslie. My name is Janet Rapasardi-Hoff. I'll be your host this evening. Dan, how are you?
Pretty good, Janet. How you doing?
Good.
Had the 4th of July. I'll turn this fan down a little bit, I guess.
4th of July was great, wasn't it?
Put it on low so we can hear each other, right? Yeah, 4th of July was funsy. What did you guys end up doing?
Well, we actually went to a birthday party. So that was double the pleasure, double the fun.
Right. I had a little more fun than I should have myself.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I figured you were cooking for someone somewhere.
Actually, we did. We did a... Our hamburger was meatballs. our beef. Yeah, we just lit a few matches and ate. Nobody cooked. Nobody did anything. It was great.
Oh,
you know, I tossed a little pasta and salad combination. I think we've done it on the show. And a couple hors d'oeuvres, 1 or 2 vodkas.
Ooh.
I
so
couldn't.
the family kind of gave you a little bit of a break, huh?
Yeah. I played that up to the hilt, you know. But yeah, I'll tell you, I couldn't think in English when I woke up in the morning. But we had a good time, a real good time. Yeah, saw a few fireworks. We had some kids show up on our lawn. I mean, unbelievable.
Before or after the vodka?
After the vodka.
After the vodka.
That was the key. Lets me know he just spent $100 or something on fireworks in Pennsylvania, and he wants to light them off. I'm there, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. He brings out a couple of these things that look like howitzers. I thought we could have taken out Lenape Island across the way, you know, and it turns out they were kind of, they were dud-ish. They weren't anything that crazy spectacular. So, but I'm telling you, I was just dying. And we face the south, right? And our neighbors are right next door to us, and the wind is coming out of the southwest. And I'm telling you, I haven't apologized to them yet. But I feel like we chased these poor people off their lawn. I mean, the smoke was coming out of these things. I just stuck my head in the sand for a while. I didn't know what the heck to do. But nobody got hurt. Nothing got burnt down, thank goodness. Well, I guess we got to start cooking something,
Oh, yeah, I guess we have to. Oh, darn.
We were going to make a steak sandwich, and we normally serve pastas. I told you I've been working with this twice-baked potato here. We take it out, fill it. We had some scallion roasted garlic in there, so I'm going to get that going right now and get a little temperature to this potato, okay? Got our little caramelized onions working, right?
Oh, yeah, well, you know, I'm like so glad to see that. I know you know every time I'm coming, I'm like looking for these.
Oh, man, I'm telling you.
But I'll tell you, it's almost a little disconcerting because, folks, before we started the show, the piles of these onions were up to here. No exaggeration.
I know, it's amazing how much you lose.
About 5-10 minutes.
Unbelievable. See, we worked these onions to where, see, they browned a little bit there.
They sure did.
We don't want to get the browning started so quickly. We want to get more of the onions from this state here to more translucent, where they start getting a little bit, have a little more opaque, a little more clarity to them. We want to just soften them up, and then we're going to turn them down, and that's when the magic happens. They start to stick against the pan. You hear that? Yeah, this is a little early for that. You have to watch having the flame up too high. See that?
Okay. Yeah.
You know, there's a difference between browning and burning, and if I kept the flames at this temperature, they would begin to burn very rapidly. So you have to be very patient. Okay.
So really, then it should be a little bit lower.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm trying to, you know, so it doesn't take a year today. I'm trying to get them where they're just getting them to a translucent state, but not burning them. So I'm going to end up I'll end up turning them down gradually.
Okay.
That's what we'll do. You know, as soon as I feel like they're scorching a little bit, I'll turn them down. It's just me trying to save a little time. See, these got a little softer, but I didn't burn anything. Yeah, see, these are happening a little faster than we want. Bad boy.
Bad.
So I'm going to give them a little turn down. I already turned 1 or 2 of these down. We want to get everything nice and even. Okay. Now, where were we? We put the potato in the oven, right? Why don't we start that steak sandwich?
Oh, sounds like a great idea.
We had a nice little piece of strip steak right here.
Okay.
I'll put a little oil in the pan. There we go. I knew that'd work. I don't want to overdo it.
It's magic.
Magic. But,
are we doing anything with the steak?
Yeah, we're just going to flatten it a little bit.
Gonna pound it a little bit.
A little bit. Help the cooking time. A smidgey. I'm going to salt and pepper it. I'll put that side I don't, believe it or not, I don't like how, I like to season the first side after I turn it one time. It seems like when the salt gets in the way, I don't know what it is, it just doesn't look the same to me. I like to put it down naked.
Ooh.
Nothing touching. We don't want to get the pan too hot here, just medium hot. I'm going to work the lid with this. This is how you do it in the skillet,
Oh,
you know?
okay.
I'm sure a lot of us would do this, you know, on a grill. I had a little piece of French bread. We had
A little piece of French bread.
a little French bread, and we were going to put some caramelized onions, and I
Ooh,
had some
that's nice.
fresh mozzarella cheese here.
Ooh,
I think
wow.
this is a great
Sounds
sandwich. But again, we had talked about this some time ago, where, you know, especially, you know, it's getting to be 9:30 at night. Sometimes maybe you're not in the dinner mode. You're looking for something a little more snacky and stuff.
Yep.
This is a good snack.
But something more substantial than just
Exactly, nachos or something like that.
nachos or
Right.
potato chips and pretzels. And
Right.
the whole
Yeah,
bag.
this is terrific. I've been doing it with pasta, and but this baked potato, I'm telling you, that's this twice baked potato. I've had a couple of, like my wife was mentioning to me about, it's tough to twice bake the potato and then maybe someone would season it by them. It's in, yeah, we're seasoning. It's just, it's in the accept or reject mode. We aren't too overwhelming with it, but if you don't like the ingredients, you know, sometimes a potato is a fussy thing with people. I only like this. I don't like that. I put this on at the, you know,
Oh,
it's like
that's true.
somebody putting butter and jelly on toast. That's a very, get your hands off my toast, you know?
True.
But here we can't do that, you know, the way we have to do business. But I had been putting in some scallion and roasted garlic, Parmesan cheese, some heavy cream and butter and stuff. It's a real low-cal potato, I'm telling you.
Well, we found out the hard way that that my niece Rebecca does not like onions in her potato, mashed potatoes. That is.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. That
That's
was a
no
no-no.
good.
That was a no-no.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think it's only in the last 3 years that I could even handle onions. I'm telling you,
Really?
what a fuss pot I was.
Oh. Oh, I heard that when you were a kid. You didn't like
Terrible. What a wimp. What a wimp I am. Yeah, really. Everything affected me. Ketchup on my hot dog, only orange soda. You know, God forbid I had something as strong as root beer. Forget it. What are we going to do here? I could get something going while that steak is cooking.
that. And the potato is okay.
Potato's okay. That can
Okay,
get beat
let's-
up a little bit in the oven.
Let's not forget about the potato in the oven.
I'm going to toast the, I'm going to crisp the bread a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe I could, you know what I want to do?
do something fast.
I'll throw in this pesto dish. We're going to save that for
Oh.
the end.
Good.
But while that's happening, you know, there's a lot of basil around, and you're plucking the basil.
That's
a lot of
true,
people have
yeah.
their basil leaves
Pretty fresh.
at home, and you want it, they don't last too long once you pick them, you know, that kind of thing. So a lot of people, you can do it in a blender. You can do it right there. Just throw some leaves in, maybe chop them up a little bit, get some garlic in there and a little oil. Salt and pepper, you can, you know, it's optional. You can add that at the end. But all of a sudden, you got this nice, sweet-smelling
Ooh.
basil,
that.
and you can toss it in a pasta. But I feel like the mistake, well, I mean, mistake, I mean, if you like it that way, you like it that way. But I feel like the basil is at its best when it's one of those dishes I don't think are, you want to emphasize serving it hot. You know, the basil can get really scorched in a pan. And I think the trick to the dish is don't be so freaked out if it isn't like super hot, like you just had something that was boiling, like a marinara. It'll be hot, and the main thing that'll drive the temperature will be the boiling water, you know? And you
Okay.
get a little Parmesan on that. You know, you have to get good Parmesan and stuff. But this is one of these things that if you cook the basil, it's going to take its sweetness out. It's going to discolor it. So you got to really back off of that ultra hot, like you had some, you know, hot cream sauce or something like that.
So the basil is actually the very last ingredient
Right.
because it's so fragile.
Right, and you can,
Okay.
you know, it's all according. I've heard people, they like a little bit of it. It's so strong tasting. You know, if it's great basil, I feel like you can eat it with a teaspoon. You know, it's just an incredible thing. And, you know, a lot of people add pine nuts or
Oh, pine nuts.
or walnuts to them. You know, that's the traditional recipe has that. But, you know, a lot of my applications are like an enhancement to a cream sauce and things like that. So we kind of leave the nuts out a little bit because I'm nuts enough as it is.
Yeah, except for the guy who's cooking it.
Except for the guy that's cooking that
Yeah.
stuff. All right, I've cooked some linguine off. I love how it works with linguine. Linguine is the thinner types of linguine. They're about my favorite. I like angel hair here to there, and I like a good hearty pasta, penne, or rigatoni. But this is my favorite if it's cooked properly. I'm going to get that in the water now. This is a key issue here. The pasta is twice cooked, but then you can put it in the boiling water and get it right over to the bowl.
Right.
But if you didn't twice cook
About
the
a minute.
pasta and you're taking it out one time, you're going to get the starch off, and now you brought the pasta's temperature down. You know,
Oh.
it just starts getting a little crazy.
Oh, that's looking good. Looking very good.
All right. Try a little more pepper and salt. Got to get that bread out of the oven, or our sandwich is going to be crunchy. There it is.
Are we looking?
Good.
Oh, good.
All right. Now all I'm gonna try to do with this pasta is just get most of the water off it. It's very, very hot water, and the pasta is very, very hot. You have to have very good Parmesan because you want it to melt instantaneously. I've salted the water, so you know you don't have to go wacky with that. And I'm gonna just use this bowl. I'm not putting it back on a flame. That's it. I've got some Parmesan hanging around here somewhere.
And now will the metal bowl, will that keep that hot longer?
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that'll help. Go with the metal bowl. I'm going to go with a little salt and pepper.
And how do we know that it's good Parmesan?
You spent a lot of money on it. You know, I feel like a Romano cheese is going to be very hot, very sharp for this dish. I mean, Romano for me, you've got to have the exact right application for that, or forget it. It's very sharp, but this Parmesan works well. I've taken a little bit of this basil pesto, and I take a little light olive oil.
Okay.
Put it in there. You can use the extra virgin if you'd like also. And all I'm going to do is stir this in. This is so simple, but like I said, I don't want to get this, I don't want to bring, you can
wanna
smell the fragrance coming out of that, you know.
That's great.
I'm going to add a little more in. The garlic is already in there. And this was boiling pasta, twice cooked boiling linguine with great Parmesan. And now this Parmesan is dissipated into it.
And that's hot, folks. I mean, that's...
Yeah, you know, how hot, I mean,
really
to me,
super hot.
right, you don't want it cold.
No.
That to me is, you know, they might sound like one and the same, but to me, you just don't want the dish chilly. And oh, I forgot to mention, one of the main things you want to do is have your pesto out at room temperature. Don't take it out of the fridge. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's true. Because that would cool the plate down considerably.
Exactly. So now everything was room temperature coming in here. We're just going to add that to the plate like that.
Great.
Some of that is stuck there, mainly because of the Parmesan cheese. But there's enough in there, and I'm going to take a little bit of it. Going to drizzle it on the top. You can stir it in or just eat it as you go. Like I said, you can use it for a, you can eat it with a teaspoon. It's a very, you know, it's a strong flavor, but it's sweet. And I have this, the heck do you call it, bruschetta. I have this salsa we have that we put on our bruschetta. And just as a garnish, kind of helping the dish a little, we're going to add that to the top. You can take that out of your garden also. A lot of people have tomatoes growing, right?
Right?
And just as another color thrown in there, we're going to throw in a little,
Oh, there you go. Pick that up.
little paprika to balance this dish a little bit. But there it is, a simple pesto. The main thing is that the basil was at room temperature, and that we didn't put it to the flame, and that we twice cooked the pasta, whichever pasta you tried to use. We got the Parmesan on there immediately, right?
Right.
And then added the room temperature basil to it. Of course, the salsa is optional. You can put shrimp in this. The shrimp could be cooked ahead of time, sliced up, put in. You know, there's a million and one things you can do with this. But you know, that good Parmesan is very key, I think. Nice light or heavy olive oil, whichever you decide to use. Our onions are doing okay. So let's check this. So there it is, that basil pesto.
steak is out now.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut that a little bit?
Give it a little slice of Reno, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Get the sandwich going here. We'll whip this together. I think it's a terrific combination. Especially if you got really nice steak. I should be cutting this to our viewers
what are you
here.
doing?
I don't know. I'm no-braining it again. Unbelievable. But you will, you know, it's nice when the steak is tender.
Whoops, almost lost that one.
We almost had an almost
A
there.
good save.
Steak is done a little more than I like it, but what can I do? I like it medium
Pink
rare.
on the inside. Yeah.
Right. Tell you what, I'll cut the sandwich afterwards. In fact, I'm going to cut it all the way through right now. Got that nice, it's crispy, but it's nice light French bread. I like that. I'll put this together. A little steak of Reno on top. Let me see if I can reach this mozzarella cheese I have sitting in the water here.
Oh, yes. Great.
Cut a couple of slices of that on there.
Oh, there's nothing like fresh mozzarella.
I agree. We have a little salt in the water there, so I don't think there's any need to season that.
I think you're one of two people we know who make their mozzarella fresh.
Uh-huh.
We have friends, Al and Rita, and one of the last times we were over their house for dinner, and she cooks everything from scratch, vegetable garden and everything else, and she said, oh, I really apologize for not, I didn't have the chance to make fresh mozzarella, so I had to buy this.
It's tough to do at home.
Can you imagine?
What are you going to do, right? It's, you know, you can do, you just buy a little curd, and if you know what you're doing, it works, you know. We added our caramelized onions to it, right? Going to put our little cappy wappy on there. See if I can cut this without totally, I have a different knife I should be using here, a serrated knife, but I see we're getting it done. I'm going to put it on our plate.
Oh, nice.
And I've taken our little twice-baked potato out of the oven here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, isn't that great?
I mean, nice little garnish for us, right?
Yep.
Right. I love it. I love it. Maybe throw a little parsley in the mix here. Maybe do our little paprika and parsley garnish around the outside. Where did I put that paprika? Somewhere around here, right?
Did we say, is this, no?
Nope.
Nope.
Here it is, right here in front of me.
Oh, okay.
Put a couple of spots on it. I got a fork right up there, Janet. Why don't you try this potato? See what you think about it.
Good idea.
Give that a whirl. See what you think. A little scallion, roasted garlic in there.
Ooh, I love that.
Works. That works. So we got a little
Scallion
steak
gives
sandwich.
it really beautiful
Oh, it does. It kicks it real well.
taste.
Just don't want to overwhelm it. Balance, balance, balance. But that's it. Our steak sandwich with our twice-baked potato. Caramelized onions, fresh mozzarella. Yeah, baby.
Oh, yeah, baby. Okay, and our last dish of the evening looks like fish dish.
Yeah, we've got a little
Shrimp,
shrimp and scallops,
scallops.
and a few more
Yeah.
garden items.
Great.
We had some artichokes, tomatoes, you know, any combination you want, really. We had some basil leaves we were going to finish it with. We had that linguine sitting there. I think it'd be a nice combination with the linguine.
Oh, nice.
We'll use that again. And then we'll plate it up. But the main thing I wanted to, we were going to get this sauce together. I have this balsamic vinaigrette. We've emulsified this in a blender.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
and that is what's going to finish the dish. So this is the same situation as that basil pesto. In an effort to get this thing piping hot, it's going to ruin the dish, actually. You know, so we're going to toss this in at the end. It's going to reduce the temperature of the dish a little bit, but for what you get out of it, I think it's worth it to have the temperature down a little bit. I'll wait a little bit on that. So I'm going to toss our little scallops in here. I've got in the pan with a little oil in it. You know, you could go so far, if you wanted to do this dish, you could go so far as to par cook the scallops and the shrimp if you wanted to do that.
Oh, really?
You just have your ingredients sitting there ready to go. This is a good dish to do with chicken also.
Oh, okay.
And the oil, go ahead.
They cook so rapidly anyway.
Oh
though.
yeah, you're not kidding.
For the time that you would take to save it,
Exactly. But this dish, that's right, we are going to have a hot item in there. So I can get my linguine in here a little bit ahead of time. Very al dente, this is. My middle name, Al Dente.
That sounds like a middle name and a,
I used to read
and a
those.
last name, right? Al
Right.
Dente.
Right, I used
Like-
to love these Mad magazines I
Oh,
used
Mad
to read in the
magazine.
schoolyard. Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, when they were mocking out the the Italian group, they had all the nicknames for the
Oh, like
mafioso, that kind of thing.
Microphone. You know,
Right.
microphone.
So unbelievable. Carmine Ricotta,
Oh, no.
Don Vino Minestrone. I loved it. How do we get on that?
I don't know. I was going to say, well, now we know we both read Mad Magazine.
Oh, I love Mad. I love Mad. I was mad about Mad. My mother told me it was a communist plot
No.
to undermine the morals of art. All right, we're going to wheel this one along here. I'm getting the high side from Uncle Greg. The shrimp do cook rapidly. This is going to come together kind of quickly. Our vegetables can be, we want to get the vegetables to have a little temperature. We don't want to necessarily break them down. Everything can be raw. They're tremendous tomatoes. I mean, if the tomatoes are pumpkins, you know, you're going to want to, you know, break them down a little bit. But all of this just needs to get some temperature to it. You don't have to feel like you have to cook it. At least that's how I feel. And I'm going to toss them in here right now. A few tomatoes and mushrooms, a few artichokes. I'm going to leave the basil leaves till the end, however.
Oh, yes.
Because they will.
We know that from experience.
I'm going to throw some garlic in here.
Okay.
I have that processed garlic that'll dissipate kind of rapidly. We talked about that. And I have a little stock combination of balsamic vinegar
Ooh.
and some chicken stock here.
No way.
No way,
You
we
did.
don't do that here. No, we have a, that's a combination of a fish stock and a balsamic vinegar. I just want to see if you were sleeping there. That's your main thing. All right, we're going to add this to the dish.
The brain went on tilt. You know, do not compute.
Right, right. You know, I think I've added a little too much of this stock to the plate. I'm going to get rid of it in the sink here.
And we have learned from experience not to put the basil in until the end.
Exactly. So I'm just going to bring this to a rapid boil,
Okay.
and we're going to add some Parmesan cheese to it, and the basil leaves, and we're going to put it over the linguine. Actually, for this particular dish, we can put the linguine down on the plate first. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, you're welcome, sir.
I love the linguine like this.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
I mean, it's not crunchy hard, but it's got color to it. It's happening. You know, it's happening. Place it over there. All right, once this gets the temperature, you know, we don't want to overcook it. Wait till it all gets up to a little boil. It'd be nice if I turn the flame up. All right, I'm going to add a little Parma cheese to it.
There you go.
Toss that around. A little bit, that'll melt. I'm going to add some of that room temperature dressing to it. I don't want to add it cold. See how that creams it out a little bit like that?
Oh, that is so nice.
Right, it's terrific. And I almost forgot our little basil leaves. Actually, I should have added them before the dressing, but they'll still melt in. It's like I said, it's
there you
plenty
go.
hot enough. You
Oh,
know, it's
sure.
going to happen for you. A couple more. And then we'll plate it up. Put a couple shrimp on first. Make a circular pattern here. Try to have all the tails going in the proper direction. And our scallops. We'll put that one around in the center also. Maybe we'll just toss this on. Like I said, we got the Parmesan in here. It's still very hot. The pasta's hot. But you have
Oh,
to
great.
sacrifice something.
Well, thanks for joining us at the table. It was hot in the kitchen today, wasn't it? Wowee.
July.
July. So, in the essence of saving time, let's go to it.
Sounds good.
Okay.
We did the two pasta dishes that featured a dressing and a basil pesto that were room temperature to finish the dishes.
Right.
They were the main. We've gone over that, and but like I said, we've got a linguine with a basil pesto and a little tomato salsa garnish. and we had some shrimp and scallops with artichokes, tomatoes, mushrooms, and basil leaves, and that finished with that balsamic vinaigrette, which also had a garlic accent to it. And we had that nifty little steak sandwich there with the caramelized onions, the fresh mozzarella, and what was there, a mouse pecking at that potato over there, or what?
Nice baked potato.
And that baked potato.
Getting ready,
Yeah.
folks. So again, thank you for joining us this evening with Dan Leslie as our guest. My name is Janet Rapisardi-Huff. We'll see you next week.